Hello everyone. So in the last video we have seen the various syntax of create table and drop table. Okay, and create and drop actually part of DDL statements. So today we'll see how to execute all these things in the MySQL prompt. Okay, and then we'll proceed with the alter command of DDL statements. Okay, so let's see how to execute these things in the MySQL prompt. Okay, so whatever syntax I have given in the last class, in the last video, that first we need to create a database. So how to create a database? It says create, create, create database. Then we need to give database name. So suppose database name is suppose school. Okay, school. So okay, already this database exists. So we can see the database. I'm getting one message that cannot create database because the database exists. So that means this database has been already created. So let me create another database. Say suppose school 2. My database name is school 2. So after creating the database, what is my first task is to open the database. So how to open a database? That is use database name. That is school 2. Okay, so I have opened the database. Now what I need to do, I need to create the table, which already I have discussed in my last video. So how to create table name. So suppose that is student, create table student. First one is a role. So its type is integer. Data type we need to mention because what type of values we are going to insert in roll number field, that all these numbers are integer. Okay, because our roll number is like 1 2 3 4 5 like this. Then name. So name character 10. Okay, so query okay, 0 rows affected, that means our table is ready. So how to view the table structure? That now you can see that query is okay, that means table has been created. Now how to see, how to view, how to display the structure of the table? For that one we can use DESC table name, that is student. So this is how we can view the table structure. Instead of DESC we can write describe also. DSCRI, we describe student. Both ways we can do. Now here you can see some field name. Here you can see field name. Then type means data type. Null. In both the fields we can enter null values. That means we can keep it empty. Key, here I did not use any keys like primary key, unique key. So these are empty. Default values I did not mention in default values. So by default none. Okay. So next what we need to do first. Is that we have created the table. Now let's proceed with the other DDL statements of MySQL. Okay, that means of SQL. So what are the other DDL statements? The next one, 2 we have done. So today's one is 3 number. Third number is alter command. Now what is the use of alter command? It is used to bring changes in the existing table structure. Okay, to bring changes in the existing table structure. Now under alter command we have first one, add. Okay, what we can do with add? New column, we can add new column, we can add constraint. Okay, we can add new columns, we can add constraints. So under this add, first we will see new column, how to add a new column. Okay, so in this in the existing table which we have created just now, and which I have given you in the last class, in this one, so okay, earlier we talked about employee table. Today we have created the student table. That's perfectly fine. There is no problem, because that day you have seen different example, today you have seen another example with practical implementation. So it would be, means you got two examples, so it will be easier for you to understand and compare. So now today we have created the table student. And what is the column? First one is role, second one is name. Now what I want to add, I want to add a column called class. Okay, class. So it is one, say Oru. Okay, say class 10, like this. So this integer values. Now we need to add a new column, that is class. So what is the syntax of adding new columns? So first we need to see the syntax. Alter table, then table name. Okay, alter table name, then add what we need to do, column name, data type, size. Okay, semicolon. So this is how we can create, we can add a new column in an existing table. So now we have seen the syntax. Next one is that example, that is we need to add a class. So alter table name, add column name is class, data type is int. Size we don't need to mention for integer. You can mention also, you can skip also. So alter table student, add class integer. Let's see how it looks like if we execute the command. So alter table student, add class int. Okay, so see, query is okay, 0 rows affected, that means we have created the table. Now let's see, if I execute the describe student command, now you see here after roll number and name, now here you can see class is added with the integer values, and default is null, and I mean null value is allowed, that is yes, and the default value is also null. This is how we can add a new column in an existing table. Okay, next, which comes under add, is b number, that is constraint. Now what is constraint? Basically, in simple words, if we need to understand constraint, then what is constraint actually? This is restriction. Okay, restriction that we apply in a particular column. So suppose for the, what are the constraints in constraints available in MySQL? The various constraints available in MySQL, you must remember these things. Also we'll explain about constraint in the upcoming videos also. So here today's class is not about constraint, although just remember the name, few of the constraint. Primary key, okay, not null, then unique key. So basically we are moving with these two. We'll see afterwards. A few more constraints are available in SQL, so we'll discuss later on. Whenever I'll cover this topic in the next upcoming videos. Then I'll explain about the constraints. Okay. So let's see how to add primary key. Okay, what is primary key and all these things I'll explain, I'll cover in the upcoming videos, because here we are discussing about we are learning about the DDL query, so better not to divert from the topic. So constraint, how to add, alter table name, add, say constraint name, say suppose primary key, then within bracket column name. Okay, column, semicolon. So let's see the example. Suppose I need to declare the field, this one, so roll number, this roll number, I need to declare this field roll number as primary key. Okay, so what I need to write here, alter table student, add primary key, in bracket we'll write roll, then semicolon. Okay, so this is how we can add a new add constraint in a particular column. So let's see in the MySQL. So we'll write, let's see, continue with this one. Okay, alter table student, add primary key in bracket roll. Fine, created. Let's describe. Now here you can see we are getting roll number as primary key. Okay. Now see, earlier this key field, this one was empty. Now this one came primary key. Now here see, default null value was allowed, but here you can see it is no. Why? Because we know that primary key cannot accept null value. That's why in the null value it is no. That means null value is not allowed. That means you cannot keep this field empty. That means you have to insert some value in the field roll number. Okay, everyone. So this is how we can add a constraint, add a column. Okay. So this is so far the add one. Next we will go with drop. Earlier also we have studied about drop. This drop comes under alter command. That means this drop will bring changes in the structure of a table. Okay, structure of a table like deletion of column. Okay. So drop. What is its main use? Drop column or drop constraint. This is the main function. This is the main function of drop command. So let's see under this one drop column, first one. So same alter table name. Here we'll write drop. Here we'll write column name to drop the column. For example, alter table student drop. So suppose I want to drop the column class. Okay, alter table student drop class. So this is how we can drop a column. So here just I am dropping class. That's why if you want to drop name, you will write name. Whatever column you want to drop, just you need to mention the name here. Is that clear? Rest of the part will remains. So let's see here. So this one. So instead of add, we'll write drop. Which one? Say class. And MySQL is not case sensitive. So here you can see here C is capital, but here I have written small c. Okay, there will be no problem. So query okay. Fine. Next, if we describe the table, then you see class is not here. That means class has been removed from the table. Is that clear? Earlier we had 3 columns. Now here you can see 2 columns. Is that clear? That means by this query we have dropped the class. Clear? Now next is how to drop a constraint. Okay, this is under this one second number. Okay, constraint, dropping constraint. How to drop? Same code is almost same. So what is the code here? We'll write same thing. Instead of column we'll write constraint name. So suppose I need to drop the primary key. Okay, I need to drop that primary key which we have added. So instead of this we'll write primary key semicolon, in place of tm right student. Okay, right student, alter table student drop primary key. So this, if we execute this, it will remove the primary key from the particular column. Okay, so let's see how to execute this. So same thing, drop right primary key. Okay, now if we describe, here you see again key field became empty. Why? Because I have deleted the primary key. Earlier, you can see here primary key is mentioned. That means I had declared that primary roll number as primary key. I have declared earlier, but here I have drop the primary key. So you can see the primary key under this key field it is empty. That means roll number is no more. It's not a primary key now. Okay, roll number is not a primary key here. Clear? That's why under this key field is empty. Fine. Next, we will go to, after this one, we will go to change. Okay, change. Now, what it changes? What is the use of change? Okay, rename the column. Okay, what it does? It renames the column. So let's see the syntax. Same thing here also at the table. This one, in place of drop, we'll write change. Then old column space new column name data type size semicolon. Okay. So example. Earlier you can see here in our table we have roll. Let's make it roll number. Okay. Now, so suppose you want to change this roll to roll number. I don't want to keep as roll. I want to make it roll number. Okay. So how to do that? So syntax we have seen. So let's see the example. Alter table student. Old column name is roll. New column name is roll. Then number. Okay. Data type say int. Size I don't need to mention. So up to this. So this is old column name, and this is new column name, and this is data type. So integer for by default is 11, so I am not changing it. So let's see how it gets executed in MySQL. Okay. So let's see. Alter table student change. Okay. Roll to roll number. So suppose I'm giving it like this. Roll number. I'm keeping it as int. Now see, if I describe the table, earlier you can see here it is roll, and now here it is roll number. Okay, that means it became roll number. Right? So I have changed the column name. So we can rename a column using the command change. Is that clear? Now the next one is, after change we have the next one, that is phone number one, that is modify. Okay, what is the use of modify? Update the column definition. Now, what do you understand by the term column definition? Like size or data type. Data type. Okay. These two we can modify. We can change. We can increase. We can decrease. We can change the data type also. Is that clear? Say suppose, for example, so in this field you can see the name. It is character 10. That means maximum we can keep 10 characters under the field name. That means any students having name uh, 10 characters name, means anyone whose name contains maximum 10 characters, we can insert that particular value under this column name, either 10 character or less than 10 characters, but we cannot insert a name having more than 10 characters. Okay, so suppose while entering suddenly you got a name which contains more than 10 characters. Now how to insert that? For that purpose we need to increase the size of this column. We need to increase the size of this column. Fine, we need to increase the size of this column. Okay, now see how to do this. So syntax is that same thing, alter table name, then modify column name, then data type size. Okay, so let's see the example. Suppose I need to increase the name field from 10 characters to 15 characters. Okay, 10 to 15 characters. So alter table student, okay, alter table student, then modify what we need to modify, which column, name. What we need to do, character. Now you can see, let me change the data type also, varchar 15. So what I'm doing actually, I'm changing the data type as well as the size of that particular column. Clear? So alter table student, modify name, varchar 15. So let's see in the MySQL if we execute. So modify, what we need to modify, name. What we need to do, data type also we need to change, varchar say 15. Okay, enter. Describe. Now here you can see earlier it was character 10, now it became varchar 15. Is that clear everyone? So this is what we can do using the command modify. Is that clear everyone? This is what we can do using the command modify. Fine. So modify is also done. So far under alter we have seen add. So we can add new column, constraints, drop columns. Okay, we can drop the columns. Here you can see drop the columns. We can drop the constraint also. Here you can see the rename columns, and here you can see the modification. That means column definition. We can modify the column definitions. Is that clear, everyone? Now, one question is very important here. What is the difference between, if I ask, uh, what is the difference between change and modify also, and what are the similarities between change and modify? This question is very important for you. What is the difference between change and modify? Okay, let me keep it up to this. Let me make it a different question. Okay, what is the similarities between change and modify? Now you must remember, in case of difference between change and modify is that what change can do, change can modify column name, comma, data type and size. Okay, that means change is more powerful than modify, because with the change we can modify the column name as well as we can change data type and size. Okay, but in case of modify, what it can do, modify can only change the data type and size. This is the main difference between change and modify. Change can change column name, data type, size, but modify can change only data type and size. This is the main difference between them. Now, what are the similarities? Here, two similarities are there. First one, both of these are DDL command. Now, say, let me keep it up to DDL. And both of these comes under alter statement also, alter command. The next one is that the next one is both are not affected by rollback command. That means if we execute any DDL queries like change or modify, any DDL queries, you can consider any DDL queries actually, and after executing any DDL queries, if you execute the rollback statement, what is rollback statement? This we'll discuss later on. If we call the rollback statement, the effects, the modification or the changes which has been implemented already cannot be altered. That means whatever changes we have made using the DDL queries, it will remain same. We cannot change it. Is that clear? So these are the main similarities between change and modify and the difference between change and modify. Is that clear, everyone? So so far we have completed all the DDL queries. What are the important one for your board exams? So today, earlier in the previous video, we have studied about uh, creation as well as drop. Here we have studied, today we have studied about alter one. Is that clear, everyone? So under alter, we have four subcategories. First one is add, then second one is drop, third one is change, fourth one is modify. Is that clear, everyone? And also we have studied about the difference and similarities between change and modify. I hope it is clear, everyone. So thank you. And if you like my video, please like, share, and subscribe my channel. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Once again, thank you so much for watching the video. Okay.